NFL Week 8 best bets are on the way. It is Austin joined by Logan. We go through every single game on the weekend slate and Monday Night Football, give out a favorite spread, money line, total, you name it. Not skipping any games. We got to pick in every single one of them. As always, they're all timestamped down below. So if you want to jump around to your favorite team or your favorite games, you certainly can do that. And last but not least, we're using odds from BetMGM. And if you want to sign up using the link at the top of the description, you bet $10, you get $200 in bonus bets. Take advantage of that offer. That's free money to use on the NBA, use on the NFL, use on whatever the heck you want it. But as always, Logan, we have to start with recapping how we did last week. Last week, I went 9-6. It's a bad Monday Night Football for me. I went 0-2 out of 9-4 week, but still good. Then you went 6-9. Word on the street, Logan, is people are saying you're washed. They're saying you're washed. And I'm actually coming to the point where I might just let you go first, and I might just fade all your picks that you say, just to guarantee a profitable week. But either way, on the season, I have a record. You still are up 6 wins more than losses. I'm up to 58-42. It's been a really good last few weeks, but I'm confident you'll bounce back. And we're not even going to have we're not even going to do a question. We're diving right into the games. And we're going to start in the 1 o'clock window. Finally, no more London garbage. Thank the Lord. We don't have to watch the Jaguars at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Let's dive in the first game of the weekend, Logan. And I think it is the biggest spread of the weekend as the Detroit Lions are playing host to the Tennessee Titans. Detroit's laying a big number, 11 points. Over-under sitting at 46. Logan, I know this isn't the best game to start off on, but we got to go through every one of them. What are you looking at here? I am going to assume Mason Rudolph is starting. We're recording this on Tuesday evening, so obviously some lines might change and some news might come out based on some QBs. But assuming Mason Rudolph starts, where's your head at for here? This one.
I would like to see personally who does start for the Titans, because that would change maybe the spread a point or two, because Mason Rudolph might be the worst quarterback I've seen under center this year. And that's saying a lot because we've seen some bad quarterback play from a lot of these teams, Dolphins included, right? The Titans, I'm not even being dramatic when I said they are just a tier, maybe a slight tier above the Carolina Panthers in terms of worst NFL products this year. That being said, I'm taking the Lions and I'm laying all the points. There's no chance in the world that I will have a single dollar on this Titans team. This Titans defense doesn't play well. The Titans offense might as well just punt on first down. No, but in all honesty, this Lions team, I went against my own judgment last week. I took the Vikings in a crazy back and forth game. Should have stuck with the Lions. They have a heart of a champion. They are out to prove what they got. And in front of that home crowd, why wouldn't we take the Lions? Give me Detroit minus the points.
Yeah, I wanted to get sharp and start taking the Titans here. I won't lie to you. But I watched Mason Rudolph and it was nasty. However, I'm still getting nasty. I'm taking the Titans team total over 16.5. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But I think if there's any chance that 90-something% of money will be on the Lions to win, to cover. And while I think they're a team of destiny, they still manage to cover. I think the Titans at least give them a shot. And I don't really think the Lions defense is all that good. They give up plenty of points, obviously down Aiden Hutchinson still trying to find a guy to replace him. Brian Branch has been a stud. I'll give him credit. But I think the Titans somehow find a way to get 17 points. It's not going to be pretty. They might be down 30 and we need a touchdown late in the game. They're getting me 17 points, and if we're lucky, hopefully the Lions cover as well. Logan, let's keep things moving to a little bit better of a game as the Green Bay Packers are on the road in Jacksonville. Green Bay laying about 4.5 points coming off that big field goal at the end of the game to beat the Texans. High over-under. This might be the highest over-under on the board at 49.5. I'll lead things off, Logan. I will go with the Packers minus the 4.5. The Jaguars are one of the worst teams in football. They looked good last week because, well, they faced the dang New England Patriots, who might be the worst team in football. I'm still not bought in on the Jags. I've liked what I've seen out of the Packers defense. I had question marks for them over the past few weeks, and they've kind of stepped up and they've proven it. They've been really good, a great unit rushing the quarterback, but also just have a great secondary as well. And for a Jaguars team that outside of Tank Bigsby can't really run the football a ton too well, so I'll go with the Packers. I don't love laying 4.5, but I'll do it. I'm just not putting any more of my coin on the Jaguars. I refuse. But Logan, what do you like here?
This is where I'm going to try to get sharp.
Get sharp. Come on, get sharp, baby.
I'm going to get sharp here. I'll take the Jags plus the points. Look, I just think Packers minus 4.5 is too easy. Last week, I looked at that Packers game. I thought they would win that one being in Lambeau. This is just a road spot that I see them overlooking. They're overlooking a Jags team that's underperformed a lot this year. And in the NFL, there can be the gotcha game, especially on the road like this. I think the Jags they are a live underdog to win this game outright. I would not be surprised if the Jags bust up people's parlays because we've seen it before. You know, the minus 200 road favorite that you just think is automatic. In the NFL, they can turn out to really lay an egg. Jordan Love got a horseshoe stuck, you know where. He gets away with those prayer chuck up throws. It works. It's worked for a lot of the season, but against the Jags, I still think the Jags have a punching chance in this one because of their offense. They still have wide receiving talent. Yes, they've struggled to run the ball, but again, I think Green Bay is exploitable down the field. The problem last week with Green Bay, or with their matchup with Houston, Houston just couldn't get a simple pass off. I mean, there's a reason Stroud finished so low in passing yards. It's because they just couldn't get a pass off. He was running for his life. I think Jacksonville is going to be able to scheme those guys open a little bit better than Houston was last week. So I'll take Jaguars plus the points.
Yeah, it's a nasty one. I consider getting sharp there. I just can't do it. But I don't blame you for taking them. It's definitely the sharp spot to be in. Next one, we have the Baltimore Ravens going on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. A little AFC North matchup here. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, people expected this probably to be like a 3.5 spread based on what's happened to the Browns so far this season. We're now to 9.5 spread as the Ravens are laying nearly 10 points, double digits, over under at 44. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is out for the season with a torn Achilles. Looks like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who also got injured in that game last week, should miss here. We should see, Logan, the return of Jameis Winston, who ended that game last week against the Bengals. Does that change your mind? Do you want to get in on the Browns? I know they burned both of us. I think we both were on Browns last week. Are you running it back and trying to get your money back?
Yeah, I'll take the Browns plus the points. It really just comes down to how I think they're going to play Baltimore. I think they're going to lean a lot on Nick Chubb, who obviously now has a game under his belt. To kind of get acclimated to that offense. And look, I'm a Jameis Winston guy. I mean, you either are or you aren't. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play just enough to keep us within this number. Look, 9.5 is a big road spread. It really is. And I would argue that everything that could have gone right for Baltimore last week went right. They won and did cover on Monday Night Football. We saw that. They looked so impressive with Lamar going down to Florida, doing what he does down in Florida, just owning these Florida teams. Now he goes back up north facing a divisional opponent that I think they could overlook a little bit because the Browns team has just kind of been dysfunctional. But it could be a Mimi quarterback like Jameis Winston. Yes, I said Mimi to get them right back on track. And I just think it's a numbers play here. Really, realistically, I think Cleveland will run the ball. We saw Tampa Bay kind of able to run the ball with Bucky and Rachaad White when they chose to do so. I think Cleveland can do it. Give me Cleveland plus the points.
I want to join you on Cleveland, but I don't want to get in front of the buzzsaw that is the Ravens offense. So I'll go for a rare AFC North over at 44 points. I think Jameis is going to be able to get something going for this offense. And he's a guy that you want to play for. And I think maybe the defense shows up because they're like, all right, we love Jameis. He's just a player's guy. Everyone loves him in that locker room. So maybe the defense shows up, something the Browns defense really hasn't done all too much this season. But the Ravens have just been a wagon. They put up points like crazy. They got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers is probably locked in for 100 yards. If you want to add that to all your parlays, that's a free leg. But joking aside, I think this goes over. Not my favorite lean. It could be an AFC North just disaster of a game where it's like 20-13 and the Browns cover. I'll go with the over. Not my favorite lean here, but if I had to bet anything aside, I would join you on the Browns. I can't do it, but I do like the play. Next one, we have an AFC South showdown as the Indianapolis Colts are in Houston, taking on the Texans. It looks like Anthony Richardson once again will get the start, although I would argue they're probably better with Joe Flacco, but that's nor here nor there. Houston minus 5.5. Over under 46. I'm going to take the Texans, Logan. I've burned Anthony Richardson into the ground many of times. He beat the Dolphins because the Dolphins literally, they cannot beat anyone without Tua, who hopefully should be returning this week. Texans are the much better team on paper. I know it's a big number against the Colts. I don't care. Colts can get out of my face. Give me the Texans minus the points. What do you like here?
Yeah, I hear your angle, and if I were to take a side in that one, it would probably be the Texans. I just like the under more. Look, if you're looking at kind of how that Dolphins and Colts game played out last week, it was disgusting. I mean, you had the under. That was a free under, freest bet of all time. But there's a reason why I like the under in this spot is because I think the Colts can bow up a little bit in the red zone, kind of contain Joe Mixon from running all over them. I mean, that's really what the Texans offense was last week. They're looking like, I mean, call me crazy, but they're looking like they're missing Nico Collins finally. Because I always wondered, I was like, when is CJ Stroud's favorite target, him not being there, when is that really going to catch up to them? I think it was last week where they just leaned a lot on Joe Mixon. didn't really look functional as an offense, late game when they needed it most. And then on the other side, the Colts offense, I couldn't trust them as far as I could throw him. Anthony Richardson, very inaccurate quarterback. I think they lean a lot on the run game. Do we get Jonathan Taylor back this week? Maybe. I mean, there's rumors. Who knows? But I really do think the Colts' identity is not lighting up the scoreboard. This is going to be a possession game. It's going to be a lower scoring game. Give me the under.
Yeah, I kind of like the under with you. I think the Colts defense is pretty bad, but we'll see. They might not be able to score any points, so it might be Texans 40-0. I mean, Anthony Richardson, I don't know what the heck he's doing. But either way, let's keep things moving. Cincinnati Bengals, who are quietly rumors that they're getting hot, Logan, as they're 2.5-point favorites, playing hosts to the Philadelphia Eagles. Another high total, 47.5. You live in Philly. They looked great last week in that Saquon revenge game in the Meadowlands. Do you think they have some juice to come into Cincy and win as a dog?
Nope, I'm taking the Bengals and I'm laying the points. I just think this one, it looks a little too easy to take a heating up Eagles team that's finally getting healthy. I mean, I mentioned that last week in that game against New York. They looked really good in that game, but that's the Giants. Again, this is the Bengals. This is a team that I actually think can exploit a pretty mediocre Eagles defense in that one. I think obviously T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, guys like that are primed for big games. I mean, they can really stretch the field. I see in this one, a lot of PIs drawn by Cincinnati. I think they're just going to absolutely go bombs away on them. There's a reason why I think Cincinnati's laying this 2.5. I mean, being at home, I think is a little bit of the difference. The Eagles, not going to be a road warrior in this spot. I think they're able to contain Saquon Barkley a lot better than what happened last week. I mean, he ran absolutely wild. They didn't even need to really involve guys like Devontae Smith in the game last week because they just simply could run. When you're rushing for, I don't even know how many yards per carry Saquon had, but he was running all over them. Give me Cincinnati in this spot, though.
Yeah, last week, Hurts, 114 pass yards, 89 to A.J. Brown. But Logan, I'm actually on the other side. I like the Eagles here. I'll take the plus 2.5. I think it's a fake sharp spot to back the Bengals. I don't think they're a good football team. I think they've beaten the Giants and they beat a Browns team that had 3 quarterbacks playing for them. I don't like what I've seen out of them. I think if there is any way for them to win this game, it's got to be a high-scoring game. I still think this Bengals defense is terrible. They can't defend anyone. They can't stop the run. You could see another big Saquon game once again. I think you'll see Hurts leaned on a little bit more. Devontae Smith, we'll see what his prop comes out to be. I bet you he goes over. But I really like the Eagles. Not my favorite spot here, but I like them plus 2.5. I think they're the better team than the Bengals. I don't know if I'll be betting them because I need them to win the division. And that's not looking so hot, so I need every win that I can get. But I do think the Eagles can go into Cincy and win that game. But it should be a tight one. I think the spread is accurate. It should be a pretty close game down to the wire. Next one. Oh, God. Can we skip this game? New York Jets on the road in New England taking on the Patriots. Jets are -7. Over under 41.5. Logan, Jets fans are in shambles, and I think you know that. You're friends with a couple of them, including myself. I have a play for this game. And if it is going to be, it's actually a little cheesy teaser if you're in. Jets money line and the under 46.5. If the Jets lose this game, I might be in search for a new team. And I'm not sure if there's room on that Panthers bandwagon, but maybe I'll look into that. That sounds like more fun. But the Jets, this is a winner. This is a game they have to win. They cannot lose to the Patriots. I don't know if they cover the 7. I'm not going to get cute and try to take them to 7. They have to win this game, and I think they will. I like the under as like a 41.5, but I'll take a couple points to 46.5. This teaser is about -125. The Patriots, Gerard Mayo called his whole team soft. I mean, look, I'm not a professional athlete, but if I get called soft, I would at least probably try to show up to work hard the next week. And on the same side, the Jets defense has been terrible the last few weeks. Can't stop the run. I think they're able to slow down Drake May, maybe pick him off once or twice. I just need a Jets win. If this loses because the over goes over 46.5, fine. I need a Jets win. But Logan, what do you like here?
This one is definitely the one of the tougher ones on the slate. Again, if you're just watching this portion of the video, just know that I like this pick the least, but I'm taking the Patriots plus the points. It's really just a bet against the Jets. They shouldn't be laying this number. They are, because on paper, they are the better team. But guess what, guys? They have to still play the football game, right? And we know the Jets team, as dysfunctional as they are, they just can't play defense. And if you can't play defense, why am I trusting you on the road to cover a full touchdown, right? That's easily backdoor potential. Tell me you couldn't see them up 10, Patriots little backdoor action there. I could definitely see it. Drake May, a capable quarterback to lead them, to this cover as well. Aaron Rodgers got to figure it out with not throwing to the other team, right? And could we see a more inspired performance from the Patriots defense? I think so, because they have the athletes to be able to do it. They're not one of those like scrub defenses that I would coin. They're not bottom of the league in terms of talent. They can piece together one good game against the division rival Jets, who now have a huge target on their back. Look, they went all in. They pushed all their chips to the table, and it has not really worked out for them. They're going to play with desperation, as they should, but I could see New England playing spoiler in this one. Give me the Patriots plus the points. There's just too many in this divisional game.
Yeah, we're playing Madden franchise mode, and it's just a disaster. I don't even know what to do with this team anymore. This has to be a win. If they don't win, Jets fans are already dead inside after the Steelers loss. There would be a new level of dead inside if they lose to the Patriots, our rival. That's going to be a fun game. Probably won't watch that. That might stress me out. Raise the blood pressure. Don't need that. Let's move, Logan. We got NFC South action. The Falcons on the road taking on the very banged up Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've seen the Falcons lay 2.5, a little suspect. The Bucs just lost their whole wide receiving core, but hey, either way, we'll talk about what we like here. Over under 46. We saw these teams just play, a couple Thursday nights ago, and it was that Kirk Cousins 500 passing yards game, 30-30, whatever the final score was. Under. That's what my pick is. I'm taking the under 46. If the Bucs want any chance of competing in this game, and the odds are suggesting they have a chance, it is going to have to come with that defense playing well, which, let's be honest, they didn't really look great on Monday night, but hey, it is what it is. They can maybe figure something out. They've already seen the Falcons offense once. And also, I just don't have any faith in this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Down Mike Evans, who might not come back to week 11. Chris Godwin injured in the second to last play of the game. He's out for the season. I don't trust any of their pass catchers on a short week. You're going to see a lot of Rashad White, Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker. They might even have one of those guys lined up at wide receiver at this point. I like the under 46. Give it to me. What do you like here, Logan?
I love that you picked the under, because I'm also on the under as well. Let's go ahead and both be on the same side. What could possibly go wrong? Taking a pretty contrarian under in this spot. But I mean, if you're looking at these two teams, they just combined for 1 million points, right? Now you got a total sitting at 46. Looks pretty tasty to take an over, especially with the Bucs, who can't play defense these days. I don't know what the heck they practice, because it's not defense. And then I just think really what it's going to come down to is Bowles knows their only pathway to really be competitive in this game is to run the football. They have to play grind it out type of, chew clock. They're going to have to chew the clock with Rashad White, Bucky Irving, short passing game. Baker Mayfield, I don't see being able to take those deep shots. That crazy Bucs Falcons game, there was a ton of really explosive long pass plays in that game. So if you're just playing law of averages, if they limit that, I think we see a lower scoring game in this one. Atlanta only laying 2.5 on the road. Probably, I mean, that's pretty trappy, right? I'm not going to be a contrarian and take Bucs, but I think the under is the play here.
Yeah, no, hopefully the under smacks. Should be good luck with both of us on an under. Let's keep moving. The Cardinals, short week going into Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Dolphins -3, over under 47. This line makes me think Tua Tagovailoa is starting. If he was not starting, this line would not exist, in my opinion. And if it still existed, I'd be hammering the Dolphins, because they obviously know something. But it does appear that Tua should be back here. Good to see him, hopefully back in the Dolphins uniform, and hopefully he's good to go. He didn't want to wear a Guardian cap. I'm not going to get into that. Whatever. It is his life. He can do whatever he wants. I'm on the Dolphins -3. I think I saw a stat the other day that said Kyler Murray has not won back-to-back starts in like 11 years or something like that. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Black Ops 6 is coming out on Thursday. Is that true? Right? That comes out on Thursday. I just was thinking about that. Count me in on the Dolphins. I think this team, they are better, obviously, than the team stinks without Tua, but with Tua back in there, there's going to be a lot of juice. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle will finally be able to do something. I like the Dolphins here big way. I don't think the Cardinals are all that good. We saw them give up like 300 pass yards to Justin Herbert, and he was literally throwing it to guys they just hired or on the practice squad, I feel like. He had a massive day. They just couldn't punch in any touchdowns. I think the Dolphins will find some ways to get in. If they can't, Mike McDaniel needs to be fired. Give me the Dolphins -3. But Logan, what do you like here? You want to go with Black Ops, Kyler?
No, I've really just been kind of looking at this game. It's kind of puzzling to me. I'm going to go ahead and go with the under 47. And it could be a little bit playing into your Kyler Murray narrative. Maybe he does, come back down to earth a little bit. I mean, last week he had some good, he had made some plays when he needed to. I think this Dolphins offense is broken. Now, can it just be repaired in 1 week with Tua? I don't know, and I'm not paying to see it. If you're taking it over, you're going to need a lot of contributions from the Dolphins. And in the red zone, they look absolutely abysmal. Last week, I don't know what they're doing. They're getting so cute in the red zone. They're going a lot of plays to their fullback, Alec Ingold. Like, what the heck is that? Because they keep stalling out in the red zone. They have Sanders, who's they're going to settle for some field goals there. And then on the other side, I also think Arizona's going to settle for a lot of field goals as well. I think Miami's red zone defense was kind of what kept them in that game against Indy. I mean, Indy got the ball in really favorable field position a lot of that game. They just, didn't score a whole lot of points. There's a reason why that game did go under. I just think I'm smelling another under between these two teams. I got to see it first from Miami.
Yeah, no, I don't mind the under either. I remember seeing on Twitter last week, there was someone that had like a Tank Bigsby, 80 plus rushing yards, and Devon Achane 80 plus. He was looking great. Tank obviously had 100. Achane at 79 with 10 minutes left in the third. What did he end with? 79. I don't think he got a single carry. And Alec Ingold got 2 carries during that time, and obviously he fumbled one. I would be surprised. I don't know what Devon Achane's rush attempts line will be, but if it's like 12.5, 13.5, it was 11.5 last week. I wouldn't mind taking that. Mike McDaniel, he's coaching for his job right now. I mean, these are games they need to start winning. We're talking about coaches on the hot seat. I called Robert Saleh. Mike McDaniel, your ass is next, buddy. You might get fired by the time we post this video. I mean, he won't get fired. Oh, man, if he gets fired, then I might have to actually play the lottery or something within the next hours before we post this. But yeah, I like the Dolphins. I don't mind your underpick. Let's move to another one, Logan. This is an interesting one. One of my best calls of the week last week. I'll give myself a pat on the back. I had Seahawks plus 3.5. Outright W in Atlanta. But now they come back home without DK Metcalf, or at least he's a question mark. He's week to week. Don't think he'll be active, but if he is, he's going to not be 100%. Going against the Buffalo Bills, who obviously got Amari Cooper going, but it was against the Titans. So do we really count those stats? I say no. I think those are worth an asterisk. I'm kind of puzzled on this game, so I'm going to let you lead things off because I don't really know what I want to do here. But what do you like?
I like Seattle with the points in this one as well. I think they're going to potentially win this game outright. But I'll take the points again. In the NFL, you're offered points. I normally take those, and I think they really do keep this game within a possession, a field goal type game, or even win it outright. Look, yes, DK Metcalf being questionable would be a big loss for them. Honestly, if he didn't play, it's a weird, nasty take, but I would like Seattle a little bit more, because then nobody would be clicking the Seattle button on their sports book. Everyone's Buffalo money line, move on next to their parlays. I just think Seattle has enough offensive talent to still stay in within this game. I'm sure you agree with me when we say we really like what we've seen from Kenneth Walker III. I mean, he's been him. They use him out of the backfield. They use him a lot in the red zone. They're efficient in the red zone. That's exactly why they won that game last week. They made a lot of those plays when they needed to. They're getting Tyler Lockett involved. Noah Fant sighting too. This is an offense going really well right now, and in this spot for Buffalo, I could just see the Josh Allen classic blow up, doing too much. Turnover game is yet to happen. I'm calling it this week. I'm saying Josh Allen, a couple interceptions, maybe a fumble in there, just being a little too careless with the ball. Give me Seattle plus the points in this one.
Yeah, I'll join you. It's not my favorite pick, but I do like the Seahawks plus 3. I rode with them last week, and they made me look smart. Coming back home, I don't love this spot as much. I think the Bills, they're getting their respect, rightfully so. They are one of the best teams in football. But the Bills have really struggled to stop the run. Tony Pollard still had a pretty good game, and he was concussed on the first drive, and they still threw him back out there. And he still had a good day. So I think Kenneth Walker could have a massive day. I think they'll be able to chew the clock, and I do think that blow-up game's coming for Josh Allen. It looked great last week. Keon Coleman, you had, Amari Cooper had a pretty good game, but I think the Seahawks have been a really good team at getting pressure. I don't know their exact pressure rates right now, but they get a lot of pressure, if I'm not mistaken, without having to blitz, which is pretty key, because if you get pressure just on blitzing, good luck. Josh Allen will find a way out of that, and then he's running down the yard for 30 yards, or he's just throwing it deep to a guy. I think that's big in this game. I think they're able to get pressure without sending guys. I like the Seahawks plus 3 with you, Logan. Let's go to a nasty game. Let's just get it out of the way. Saints on the road taking on the Chargers. It appears Derek Carr is still out here. we assume Spencer Rattler is starting, but based on what we saw last week, I mean, if they wanted to bench him for Jake Haener, sure, go for it. Don't know if that moves the needle, but it is what it is. Chargers coming off that Monday night loss. They're laying 7 points. Over-unders at 39.5. Another game that, Logan, I really don't have a good read on here. This is like bottom of the barrel totem pole for me. I'll let you lead things off. Is there anything that you even have like a 1 out of 10 confidence scale here?
I do have a question for you real quick. What's the Saints team total these days? Because with this quarterback controversy, I don't really want to lay the points with the Chargers. There's not a whole lot of value on that. Just because it's shorter week for the Chargers. But then I would like to somehow fade that quarterback, up in the air for the Saints. I don't know if
so I'm looking at lines. We got a couple books like DraftKings and whatnot. Pinnacle, sharpest book in the world, -116 on the over, 14.5.
Yeah. Okay. I saw what I needed to see. Give me the Saints team total under 14.5. When it's set that low,
you can get 16. You can get 16.5 though. So we'll give you 16.5. That's at like -125. So not bad.
Okay. There we go. 16.5. If it was 14.5, I'd like it even more because why the hell is it that low?
Well, you want 14.5? 14.5 is plus 110. Well, plus chicken.
Sure. I mean, maybe chase a little plus value there. But no, in all honesty, jokes aside, this Saints offense is discombobulated. I mean, they are a mash unit. Do we need to talk about how many receivers and key weapons they're missing? They are missing guys all over the field. Their offensive line looks atrocious. I mean, the Broncos were in the backfield every single play. It's going to be hike and haul, maybe throw a little dump off to Kamara, and that's all you're going to be able to really do. This Chargers team, what they do well is they play defense. We know that. So they're going to lean on that defense. They're going to try to cover that way. Again, I don't want to lay all those points with the Chargers because that's kind of a nasty spread, but I will just target the Saints and their team total under.
Yeah, I'm looking at some odds to see if I can get Chargers at -6.5. I'll take Chargers -6.5. Not sure about the odds. There's a couple books at 7.5. I'm sure 6.5 somewhere's out there. We've talked to the Saints before. What do they struggle to stop? Well, a lot of things. Stop the run. And what do the Chargers want to do? They just want to run the football. They couldn't get anything going last week against the Cardinals. The Cardinals basically, I think they put all 11 in the box and they just let Justin Herbert just throw it. And then they were able to punch it out like Jalen Reagor at the end. And that's how they got the ball back. But I'll still take the 6.5 here. I'm looking at different odds. Yeah, you can get 6.5 at -123 on DraftKings. That's not too bad. I think they can easily blow out the Saints team. If Spencer Rattler starting, we obviously know the Chargers have the ability to get to the passer. He's really bad, and I'm not overthinking it. I think the Chargers win this game easily. Coming off a loss, short week, don't love that. I don't care. Give me the Chargers -6.5. I'll buy the extra point so I can win by touchdown and still cash. Next game, we have the Raiders playing host to the Kansas City Chiefs. Last week, Logan, I said I would take the Rams. And then this week, I would be on the Raiders. But what happened? The damn Raiders felt like kicking a field goal with 2 minutes left, down 8. And that's how I lost my Rams -7. So now I'm in a predicament because one side of me wants to get revenge. The other side of me wants to get my lick back and take the Raiders +10. I hate the Raiders, though. I think they're one of the worst teams in the world. So I will be taking the under. I just went a ropey dope. I just went all over the place to tell you I'm taking the under. 41.5. The Raiders are terrible. Gardner Minshew, I don't know what the hell he's doing, and it's not his fault. He has no one to throw to. Devontae's obviously traded. Jacoby Myers, we'll see if he comes back. It's Brock Bowers. And if you think of any team that knows how to game plan a little bit for a tight end, probably be the Chiefs. On the same side, the Chiefs offense, I don't know what the heck they're doing. Patrick Mahomes throws 2 interceptions every single week, it feels like. I don't even know how he's up there in terms of the MVP odds. His stats are terrible. I don't care. I'll take the under. I'm not sure the Raiders can put up any points on this D Spagnuolo defense, which has been out of its mind. I'll take the under at 41.5. But what do you like here, Logan? Get on the Raiders train, man. I support you.
I can't get on the Raiders train. I've taken a few underdogs this NFL season in the past few weeks. That just made me look like I don't know football. So again, I'm not willing to die on that one. I'm going to join you on the under as well. I think really if we're looking at this Chiefs team, they are elite on the defensive side of the ball, not so elite on the offensive side of the ball. Again, that's really where I have question marks for the Raiders side is their defense. Patrick Mahomes isn't lining up the world like he used to. We got to see that classic like Patrick Mahomes, 4 or 5 touchdown type game to really think that this team is liable to go over this. And then on the other side, yeah, Gardner Minshew, I don't really know what the heck's going on with that offense. If I knew Jacoby Myers was back, maybe I'd flirt a little bit with the Raiders plus the points. But with him, his question, he's still questionable these days. There's no way I can see the Raiders really hanging around at all. So it's either Chiefs -10, which is a big spread, or the under. I think the under is a little bit safer, though. I'll join you there.
Yeah, something additional live bet hack for this game. If Gardner gets injured, put your whole life savings on Chiefs because Desmond Ridder will be coming in hot. And that guy is actually the worst QB in the league. He should go to the Titans. They should have a pillow fight there with Levis, Rudolph, and Ridder. That would be a fun watch. Let's keep things moving. Logan, your Carolina Panthers are on the road in Denver, in Mile High Stadium. They're getting a big number, -9. I want to say I was looking at some against the spread numbers. I think the Panthers are lowest in the league. I believe they are 1-6 against the spread. But I think I cashed on that one winner in Seattle, so we'll take that. 43.5 total. What are you feeling? What's the pulse in Panther Nation?
Well, I just have PTSD seeing these two logos side by side because we all know Super Bowl 50 was between these two teams, and we all know that was the most miserable day of my life. I picked the Panthers a few times this year. Made me look really stupid. Really, really stupid. I picked them +7 last week. I thought, surely they're going to hang around. No, just over from the get-go. It was over on the first play of the game when Andy Dalton threw a pick 6 on a screenplay. That being said, I'm ready to do it.
Don't do it.
Take the Panthers +9 again. I think they're gonna be pesky in this one. They're gonna be a little feisty, and I think Bo Nix is gonna make a boneheaded turnover that's going to decide the cover, not the win. Because Denver's -450 on the money line for a reason, right? That 9 number is just a weird number, right? It's like you lay that many points with the Broncos, you're gonna F around, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out that the Panthers are a little bit scrappy this week. You're going to find out that they game planned enough to get Deontay Johnson involved, who was a no-show last week. I mean, the Panthers were a no-show last week just simply because they looked at the scoreboard and were down like 3 scores before the first quarter was even over. I just think it's Panthers +9 in this one. It's one of those nasty, you just bet it and you don't watch it. You maybe box score watch it. I'll take the Panthers once again.
Oh, man. I misspoke when I was talking about the Panthers. Their only cover was in Vegas. But, Logan, what happened the last time the Panthers and their pesky selves went out west? Got their win outright against the Raiders. And friends, don't let friends ride solo on the Panthers. So I'm in. Panthers +9. I hate it, but I love it. But I hate it too. It was just like my Auburn pick in college football. Disgusting. They stuck around and they should have won that game outright. Could be the same thing here for the Panthers. I don't think you want to lay 9 points with Bo Nix. I just don't. And I could see Denver overlooking this game. I'm looking at their schedule coming up. They have Carolina and then a hard gauntlet. You got Baltimore in Baltimore, Kansas City in Kansas City, then heck, Atlanta. Those are 3, not great matchups coming inbound for them. They'll overlook the Panthers, no doubt about that. Coming off that big Thursday night game against the Saints, I think this is the spot. Panthers, wake up. +9. Keep pounding, baby. Keep pounding. +9. Give it to us. Let's move on to the final 4 p.m. game of the weekend. A big game that has some injury question marks here as Caleb Williams and the Bears come off their bye week and head into Washington, D.C., Landover, Maryland to take on the Commanders. Right now, the Bears are laying 2.5. The over-under at 44.5. Logan, I have one pick in this game, but it's kind of a 2-pick. I am not going to place my bet on this game until I see if Jaden Daniels is active. Here's how I'll try to make a graphic for this. If Jaden Daniels is active, I bet Bears, whatever the line is. If Marcus Mariota is the starter, I bet Commanders. It makes no sense. It doesn't have to. I'll just take whatever the line is at kickoff. That is my system for this game. What do you like, though?
Yeah.
If you want to join the system, I'll let you join the system if you want in.
I hear your system. I understand it. It's the classic fade the news, right? Jaden Daniels is in. You go the opposite way because people zig and you'll zag. I understand what you're doing there. I still think the little bit safer pick in this one is the over, though. I just think both these offenses are looking pretty decent. I mean, if you could just plug in Marcus Mariota mid-game with a cold turkey off the bench, and he looks just like Jaden Daniels. It was insane to watch. Yes, that's bad Panthers. I get it fully. We get a little bit of a discount in this matchup, though, total-wise, because the Bears do play defense. They are a better unit than the Panthers were. That still said, the Commanders look great. I mean, they're using Brian Robinson out of the backfield. They look great there. They're using Terry McLaurin. They're getting all their offensive weapons involved. And on the other side, the Bears, They look a lot better than I thought this year. You know, using guys like Keenan Allen. Can you use DJ Moore a little bit this week? I think they can. I think there are points on both sides of this ball. I see this one being, you know, a 27-21-ish type game going over. I think there's definitely touchdowns in this game. So I do like the over, but I understand your system, and I hope the people do as well.
Yeah, no, I like the over as well. I almost considered just adding it to my card willy-nilly. But I won't. I'll stick to my Commanders if Marcus Mariota starts. I don't know what the spread is because the spread probably moves if that happens. And I'll do with the Bears if Jaden Daniels starts. That's my system. Finally, we move to Sunday Night Football. We have two teams that are desperate need of wins here as the Cowboys come off their bye, take on the 49ers who limp into their bye. 49ers laying 4.5, over under 46.5. I'm on the Cowboys here, Logan. I believe the last time these two teams played, I think the Cowboys got spanked, if I'm not mistaken. Coming off a bye, this is a big week for the Cowboys. They need to win this one, and I think they will come in here, and I think they have a chance to win this one. Here's a stat for you, a little stat nugget I got in my bag for this one. Dallas, the last 2 years, 5-0 against the spread with the rest advantage. Obviously, clearly have the rest advantage here. Flip side, San Fran, 3-5 against the spread last 2 years with the rest disadvantage. The 49ers, they're down Ayuk. They're down. Debo's got pneumonia. Will he even play? CMC's obviously doesn't even have a leg anymore. It feels like maybe he'll be back in a few weeks. I don't know where you go here. You got Ricky Pearsall. He doesn't really know what the routes he's running, I don't think. I'll be taking the Cowboys plus the points. I think they come in Sunday Night Football and they win. So give me them plus 4.5. But Logan, what do you like here?
Yeah, when you toss out a stat nugget like that, how am I supposed to fade you, right? Yeah. That being said, I'm taking the Niners. Okay. I think the narrative here is the Niners just looked so bad last week. You know, the Chiefs came in there, dominated them, and they're injured, right? They're all banged up. I still think this is a really squirrely spread. I mean, this is just I was expecting San Francisco maybe -3-ish. Who knows where it closes? But I just think all these injury questions are just kind of smoke. Because Shanahan is able to beat up on this Dallas team. He knows exactly what to do. That defense will be a lot better this week against Dallas. Why? Because Dallas is easier to play than Patrick Mahomes. Still, Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked great this year, but they don't need to. He makes the plays when he needs to. Dak Prescott doesn't make the plays when he needs to. That's why San Francisco is going to win this game. And the question to me is really, are they going to cover? I see them being able to win this game by 6+, a couple field goals in there. This Dallas offense relies so much on a guy named Brandon Aubrey. What position does Brandon Aubrey play? He's just a kicker. I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you that you're not being efficient in the red zone. And if you're not being efficient in the red zone against a very good, still a good Niners team, they have underachieved so far, but they still have all the athletes to be able to do it. I like the Niners. I like that you threw out that little stat. I hope to see it in some Twitter feeds this week. The Niners laying the points.
Yeah, okay. Battle between me and you. I just saw after their bye week, the 49ers play the Buccaneers. So that should be an interesting matchup. Both teams dead. Maybe CMC's back by then. But either way, hey, we'll see how that one goes on Sunday Night Football. And then our final game of the weekend. Technically moving into the new week, it's Monday Night Football. The New York Giants are trying to get some revenge for my New York Jets against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I don't need to overthink this one, Logan. I'm on the New York Giants. Plus 6.5. The Steelers looked like one of the best teams in the world with Russell Wilson. He looked great. The Jets played with negative heart. And I don't think that's the same case for the Giants. Coming off a just beatdown, their offense couldn't do anything against the Eagles. Offensive line struggled. They'll have to shore up that with an extra day to prepare. I think the Giants might win this game outright. I'll take them plus 6.5. I think Russell Wilson's overrated. He looked good against the Jets because he was able to make some. They were able to make some contested catches. You can't bank on guys making one-handed catches nonstop. I think the Giants were able to get some good pressure on Jalen Hurts when they were able to rush the passer. They didn't really get to rush because they couldn't stop the run. They'll stop the run here, force Russell Wilson to pass. He's throwing a pick, and there might be a pick 6 here, Logan. Giants, anytime touchdown. Boom. Give me the Giants plus 6.5. But Logan, what do you like here?
Ooh. All right, so I'm looking at this spread. Steelers -6.5 seems so free, right? They just blew out the Jets. Now they face a worse team.
Last leg of everyone's parlay too.
It's definitely the last leg of people's parlay because Steelers at -285. Money line. That's reasonable throwing a parlay. That being said, I see your vision. I have a strict rule. I don't bet on Danny Dimes. Think he's
Prime
terrible.
time though. On prime time. Join me.
I'm going to join one angle of this, and that's I think the Giants defense is going to be better this week. I'm taking the Steelers team total under 21.5. Maybe a 22.5 exists out there. Maybe you can fact check me on that. But I was just looking at FanDuel right off the top. 21.5. I just think we saw so much efficiency and a little bit of luck last week from George Pickens and Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson was bailed out on a few of those occasions by Pickens just kind of being the hero last week. That being said, I think the Giants are going to look at what the Jets failed to do, and that's game plan for Pickens. Jets defensive secondary is also a lot worse than the Giants. If you don't believe me, just watch those two teams. The Jets secondary is awful. They are a terrible unit. The Giants simply just by process of elimination, they will be better, right? We just look at the defensive front as well for the Giants. I think they make Russell Wilson a little bit uncomfortable. That line being 36.5 for that total is extremely low. And if the Steelers score all the points and they soar over their team total, well, then I read that game completely wrong, but I still like their team total under. It's nasty. It's contrarian, but I don't really care.
I'm seeing books have a Giants team total at 13.5. I don't love that. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. You could get Steelers at 22.5. So I'll put that on the screen. That's your team total under 22.5. I love that play. I like the Giants as well. 13.5. I'm not going to get involved with that team total. We need a list. It's going to be a low scoring game, but that's going to do it for week 8 best bets. As always, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Logan, any final thoughts before we sign out?
Let's have a good week. I've had a couple stinker back-to-back weeks. That just means I'm sitting on even more wins this week. Let's have it. Let's have a week.
Yeah, you might sweep the board, except for those picks that we disagreed with. You'll probably lose those ones. But let's have a monster weekend. We'll have plenty of other videos with our favorite props on the weekend on Saturday. So stay tuned for those. And let's have a great week in week 8, almost at the halfway part of the regular season. Logan and I signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.